Yo, we're back at the Cray. I feel... excuse me. I'm just getting the rust out.
Okay.
Getting the rust out. Are you guys recovered from our Vegas episode? When was that? Like 3 months ago?
No, it was a month ago.
It was a month ago.
It was a month ago?
3 weeks, but yeah.
3 weeks
By the time
ago.
this airs, it'll be a month. Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. No, I'm still coming to Vegas. Vegas is some shit. Like, you gotta be prepared for Vegas. You can't just say you're going to Vegas. You gotta,
Well, we did.
Well, you can't just say you're going, but you're going to pay a price.
You gotta pay a price.
Yeah, there is definitely some prep involved in it. You
and
know?
we did a week. I mean, that's no joke.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
It was 6 days. Well, listen, I don't drink. I didn't even smoke weed when I was there. I didn't gamble. And I still came back fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what
No,
I'll
it's
do,
crazy
yeah.
because the way we went to Vegas, I suggest that's the way you go. You know what I mean? Sprint a
Definitely.
van, fly, you know what I'm saying, with the homies.
Well, I would imagine that the ride to Vegas in the Sprinter van, which I enjoyed because there were 4 of us in the 8-seater,
Yeah.
had to be a little more comfortable than the ride back you guys experienced.
Yeah,
I caught a ride back with a homie.
Yeah. I mean, a homie.
slept.
Yeah. Nice looking homie.
Well,
I mean,
O'Neal
really, bro,
slept.
you're gonna put me on blast like that. There's your first edit of the episode.
I'm just
Shawn.
saying, like-
there's your first edit of the episode, fucking guy.
I mean, a
When I
homie.
said homie, motherfucker, where'd you think I was going with
Okay,
it?
I'm sorry.
Guy.
No. The ride on the going was amazing. The ride
It
back
was, man.
cool.
We were
Well, you
watching.
slept the whole way back.
Yeah, the whole way back.
You
I
know,
had
we
to.
watched that Chappelle, not the newest Chappelle, the second to last
Yo,
Chappelle.
we watched it. We was on a
The one where it only got mildly canceled.
Yeah,
right?
mildly.
The mild cancel
Yeah,
Chappelle.
mild cancel.
That shit was fun.
Speaking of which, there was the Netflix walkout. I think it was yesterday.
yesterday.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, with the employees.
Where do you
because,
stand on this whole Chappelle thing, Shawn?
You know, I think. So here's the thing. I think that
As
with
the owner of Stone
comedy-
Street Cafe in Melrose in West Hollywood, I would love to know your thoughts on it.
You know, I mean, at the end of the day, comedians shouldn't be censored. Comedians are funny because they say
The shit that we
you
can't.
know the shit that no one else can. So I think once you start censoring comedy, it's a slippery slope. With that said, you know, it's there's you can look at it from both ways. you
Listen,
know? I think the CEO could have been a little bit more measured in his approach instead of just saying deal with it. It's comedy. He's our and he kept.
Well, he didn't really say it like that.
And he kept alluding to the fact that he's the most successful.
No, what he
comedian we
said,
have
what he
here.
said, what Ted Sarandos said was that in their research, they have not seen how entertainment content creates some kind of violent response, right? So in terms of the LBG QT community, his expectations were that it wouldn't be an increase in hate crimes or you know, homophobic, anti-gay sentiment or you know, transphobic kind of sentiments. And on that, like, I can't speak to data, but I watched the stand-up, and it did not make me go like, oh, yeah, you know, the trans community does do this, or the gay community does do that, or fuck them, or fuck this one.
No.
Like, I didn't come out of it with anything other than going like, hey, there's a perspective this guy has, and he found like a funny way to do it. Listen, I'm a Jew. He fucking hit the Jews twice too.
Yeah.
He's like, I call it space Jews, and I was fucking laughing, even though I don't think most people even understood what the fuck he was
It was
talking
fucking
about.
hilarious.
It was really fun.
But like, you know, I mean, you know, I can't tell people to be sensitive, not be sensitive.
course not.
Everybody's got their own thing going on, but I stand with the freedom of expression for artists. You know, you could like, I don't stand with anybody who spews hate, but I didn't interpret that as hate. But
Neither did I.
Yeah,
but
neither
you
did
know,
I.
I stand with anybody who, you know, right to express themselves creatively, artistically, and you know.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
that's
for
it.
me, if anything, after watching his special, one, he talked about, you know, a transgender a woman who he befriended, who he created an opportunity. Daphne, who he created an opportunity for. And by him sharing that information about her, I then got in a K-hole and started Googling her, watching her, you know, stand up.
You did ketamine?
I'm sorry?
Did you get in a K-hole?
No, I don't do drugs, Rob.
Oh, I thought you said I got in a K-hole.
Yeah, you know, like a K-hole, like, you know, like you get sunken into something, like you're pulled in.
Oh, I didn't know that was an expression
Yeah.
like that they used other than like for ketamine.
Yeah, no, you get pulled into a K-hole.
I spent a lot of time in K-holes.
Yeah, so I bet you did. I got pulled in, And, for me, not to, for the viewers who haven't seen it, the way he was able to create a story and then educate you at the same time.
Yeah.
Because from my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, she then committed suicide, not from the backlash from actually the trans community for being friends with him.
Well, I think it was like but he admonished that too, because he didn't say, he said he was sure it didn't help.
Yeah.
All the bullying that she caught, but I don't think he entirely blamed it on that. Obviously, people are complicated. I think if you're going to go to those lengths.
Yeah, but she got a lot.
But then he would make jokes about it, and he'd go, Daphne would have liked that joke. He's like,
yeah,
that's how I knew she was a man. When he says,
Right.
and she jumped off. There was only a man would have the balls to do that. He's like, Daphne would have loved that joke.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And it's I don't know, man. I mean, I thought it was deep. I thought it was deep as fuck. I think they're gonna be looking at that. They're gonna be looking at that for a long time.
I think they're gonna be looking at that for a long time.
It's got a lot of layers to appeal, and
if anything,
but he's smart as fuck, dude.
He's super smart. But if anything, I think the conversation for me is, because of his stand-up, we're having these kind of conversations. We would not normally have these conversations on a daily basis about, transgender and things of that nature. So, I mean, it's kind of like a gift and a curse.
Right.
You know what I mean? He opened our eyes to things that we would just not necessarily...
Right. You don't understand, so I knew that J.K. Rowling was embroiled in some kind of controversy. When Chappelle really laid it out there, I started to understand that what their position is your God-chosen gender is what you are. Even if you identify with something else, you're still a man, but you could be a man who identifies as a woman, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what he's kind of saying when he's like, you're a man first, and then you transition, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's not dissimilar to coming out here and seeing I think it was Vanessa Redgrave, the actress, was anti-Zionist, right? So she felt like Israel shouldn't belong to the Jews. And people in fucking Hollywood hated her, but I didn't really understand that. People have positions, and I think if somebody has an educated position, again, that does not hurt someone, harm someone, spread misinformation, listen, like German, Nazi Germany. I think outside of that, if it's a land dispute and, and people want to talk about gender and sexuality, I mean, why isn't the whole thing on the table? But I will say this again, too, is that I understand how hard it is for some of these communities, you know what I mean, to have fight,
like I said,
have fought.
You need to know that you're in, the company that you work at, will.
But I think Netflix is no, I don't want to underestimate the value of support that should go toward marginalized communities, but I can't imagine Netflix is the kind of place to work at that isn't,
I mean, listen, I've never worked at Netflix. I think that, Ted is married to a black woman.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think he's already open-minded.
Right.
I don't think Netflix is a place that wouldn't embrace everybody.
Right.
I mean, the films, all their shows are so diverse and all over the place. And to be honest with you, I mean, they really kind of showcase that in their films and the things that they do. And it's like what's the guy, Eddie Winslow from Family Matters. He's tied up in the whole thing. He played Eddie Winslow. His name is Demarius, I think, in real life. Yeah. And there's a huge,
how is he tied up? What do you mean?
There's a video going around with him with a transgender guy, and they did a whole photo shoot of some sort, and there's video of him grinding on her and kissing her. Yeah. And he put out this video and said that, listen, you guys are closed-minded. This is art or whatever. And I mean, she looked like a very attractive black woman.
But what do you mean? What do you mean you guys are closed-minded? To who?
A lot of the backlash he got.
But that's from people that
people
are transphobic.
People comments are like, wow, these guys are having a good time. You know what I mean? The comments are not like, she's a she. It's more like, I wonder, what are these guys going to do after this?
Right, they're bashing him.
They're bashing him like he's gay. He was like, I'm not gay. He was like, dude.
He's like, she's a woman.
She's a woman.
Right.
You know now.
Right.
Today.
Right.
He's having a good time with her.
Yeah. Hey, man, everybody got to do what they got to do. You know what I mean, man?
How did Netflix end up resolving that? Was it just?
I don't think they resolved anything.
Walkout,
The walkout was yesterday.
Okay.
The walkout. It was crazy. But what was so crazy? I just watched a video this morning with this guy. He had a sign that said, "I like Dave." And the people on the opposing side, who obviously were feeling like the trans community was being disrespected, they literally attacked him. So it's kind of weird. It's like you're here for like equality and peace and all that.
But we already know it's not the case. Bro.
Yeah, it's like
I'm not going to start getting into the various communities that get
crazy.
support and then don't return support.
It don't return support because this guy, his sign literally said, "I like Dave," and then they took the sign from him and destroyed it. He grabbed his stick and then somebody started screaming, "He has a weapon! He has a weapon!" And he was like, "Wait a minute, this is just a stick that the sign was on." And now it's a weapon. They was like, "Drop your weapon!"
Man. I mean,
it's fucking crazy.
You know, I don't want to see him irresponsible, but life's too short to deal with any of this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting here like, who the fuck wants to be out there with sticks and stuff? You know what I mean?
Exactly. No, it's crazy time.
Well, anyway, I thought you know, it's definitely kind of like a controversial, super powerful.
Yeah.
Special he did. There's a lot of really funny shit, a lot of really smart shit.
He's smart.
Yeah,
as
I'm
fuck.
sure.
He's smart.
I'm not. You know.
And Netflix is smart too because they're in the media every day. Whether it's from the success of Squid Game to
I don't know if
that's
the kind of in the media they want. Man. I mean, when you start to see the backpedaling of the executives, you know, and like Ted Sarandos backpedaled on something the other day, you start to go like, oh man.
I mean, look at
it's hard. It's hard to take a position in anything anymore because. I don't know, like maybe some motherfuckers visit these people in their dreams or something. Because like people wake up and they just like start like going, oh, by the way, I might have spoke too soon. I might have said this. I might have said that. It's weird, man.
Damon Wayans said that Dave Chappelle freed the slaves, the comedy slaves.
Yeah, I saw that. He was right.
He was right.
Who was it? It was Damon Wayans?
It was Damon Wayans. He was like at the airport.
I saw somebody said that.
TMZ caught him and he was like, what do you think about
But he did. But it's like, I think like, you know, even watching like fucking Dave, what the fuck's his name, man? The Sandler guy, David Spade, talk about how like, oh yeah, I could be canceled for my old stand-ups, and I'm scared to get up there and say anything now, or you know, it's hard to. You start to go like, if that guy's worried. I mean, how fucking controversial was that guy anyway? You know, like, what the fuck were you joking about, bro? Like, what's your fucking stance on shit? But you know, I start to go like. Man, if everybody's gonna be scared, what the fuck is comedy? You know
what is comedy? Dude, I was
like, I'll give credit to Bill Burr too. He don't fuck around either, man.
Yeah,
that Paper Tigers.
Yeah, he keeps
that stand up. He put a lot of motherfuckers on blast.
That special.
Yeah,
bro, it's hysterical.
I think that's your favorite. One of your favorite specials, right?
Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, Bill Burr. Funniest motherfuckers alive. And anybody who visits us at the Cray.
I saw a meme the other day and it said that. The joke that Bernie Mac had on the Kings of Comedy about his nephew, it wouldn't land well now. Because
what was it?
So he in Bernie Mac's Kings of Comedy special, Bernie Mac talked about his sister being a crackhead. He had to raise her kids, and one of the kids were gay. He was like he was like 4 or 5. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, you know, kids supposed to be in bed at a certain time.
Yeah.
And he was like, as he's going to the kitchen to get something to eat, the kid is passing him in the hallway like. He owns the fucking house. And he was like, what are you doing? Where you coming from? He was like, I went to get some milk and cookies. And he was like, you got what? And he was like, some milk and some cookies. And he was like, you know he gay, right? He's gay because he wanted some milk and some cookies. And the internet was just like, that joke wouldn't fly now. Right. Like people would not.
Well, I don't understand why like he would like how he's gay because he wanted milk cookies.
Got canceled for that. Kept saying a similar joke when he was talking about.
No, he got released from the Oscars.
Yeah,
because he was going to host the Oscars.
Yeah, he said if his kid did something gay.
No, he said if my kid wanted to get a dollhouse,
he would take the dollhouse and crash over his head.
Yeah, I mean it's a fucking stupid statement anyway. You know, because would you really do that? If my kid asked for dollhouse, I'd be like, no problem, I'll get a dollhouse. But then I'd watch him play with it like.
One Christmas, I wanted an Easy Bake Oven.
Listen, as a parent,
when you were a kid,
when I was a kid, I wanted an Easy Bake Oven.
Well, so here's the funny thing.
But that's not shocking at all, by the way. Because you do everything as it is.
Because everybody wanted
if you said I'm also a baker, I wouldn't be stunned.
I baked them.
I'd be like, oh, O'Neal the baker,
dude. Last night,
O'Neal the music producer of the dance.
Last night, I started to bring some. I know you gluten and all that shit.
Yeah,
I made a devil's food cake, chocolate on chocolate last night. My nanny came in and she went crazy. She was like, "This cake is fucking amazing." So I love the baby.
Yo, bring it next time. Gluten-free, dairy-free.
Okay.
I'll just say what I'm just going to say is one thing.
Okay.
Just put it on record. As the parent of a 5-year-old, I'm pretty sure I speak on behalf of most parents walking around this planet. You don't really care, like, what sexuality, you know what I mean, about your kid.
Much.
All you care is that they're healthy. You know what I mean? My kid's sexual preferences when he gets older, I'm like, cool. I don't care.
Yeah.
I just want a healthy, good-hearted,
It's a good person.
Yeah,
good
that's
being.
it,
That's
man.
it.
That's what you hope for. So
Yeah, that's what you hope for. But well, we back.
But Bernie Mac was a funny motherfucker, though.
The funniest. He was like, dude,
he was a generally funny
he
guy.
was so
but the times
funny.
have changed.
Yeah, times have changed.
So
because it's like you can't say this.
We stand in support with our brothers and sisters in the LGBTQT community. But I did think the Chappelle special was good.
I thought it was amazing.
Okay,
I thought it was amazing.
Cool. So we're out there like that.
But we're back. The Cray. We got a special guest today, Affion Crockett.
He's like you, Atheon. You know, he has like 90 jobs also.
Dude, he's done it. I remember the first time I saw Atheon was on Soul Train. He's done stand-up. He's done movies. He's done comedy. And obviously now...
But he's also a music producer.
He's a music producer.
He's done a ton of stuff.
He's done a ton of shit. He has over a million...
And how come he's not promoting your Halloween party?
He will. I promise you.
Oh, he will? Why isn't he on the invitation?
I mean, I didn't tell him. It's like the Cray thing. So I just kind of wanted me, you...
Is this episode going to drop before the Halloween party that you guys are promoting?
We are promoting, and it's like,
well, it's the Cray.
Rob's spearheading.
He's
Rob Weiss is spearheading the entire event with the assist of O'Neill and myself.
Yeah,
great.
And so
I'm a 54-year-old.
The success and failure of the event.
But watch, the party is
going
to be slamming. It's going to be hot, and he's going to be like, "Yo, my party was the shit."
Really?
Yeah, that's what you're gonna say.
Well, I hope I see videos of it and I get to see what kind of party, how it looks.
I'll
be there, man.
Videos.
But what I understand. What am I dressing as? Like, well, what should I do? It's an 80s, 90s theme.
It's an 80s,
you guys
90s
couldn't
theme.
choose which decade you want to roll it.
It would just, it's a toss up. So just to combine them, all the music is gonna be 80s, 90s, the best of.
Right. Are we gonna do any kind of like grunge music? If I go out with a grunge vibe, what if I come with a grunge vibe?
Of course.
You know, I've done like a lot of like I did Easy one year. Me and my friends did. No. Check this out. I'm gonna ask you a question. Let me
blackface.
No, I didn't wear blackface. But this goes to my question about cultural appropriation. No joke. Yeah. So one year I did like Easy. It was just like Raiders fucking hoodie. It was like Compton hat.
Jerry Curl wig.
One of my grills. No, but like the frames, right? Like just a bunch of shit where you walk in, you got a chain, but everything identical to like an Easy outfit, Levi's, whatever it was. People be like, oh, Easy. I'll show you these pictures. Sick. Me and two friends did Run DMC one year. People were fucking bugging out, man. Like at the Roosevelt, they used to do a big party.
Yeah. I used to go all the time.
Right, yeah. So people were like, oh, I took pictures of you guys. Just the perfect Kangles, the right fucking old school Adidas fucking, the OG fucking tracksuits with the chains, the glasses without like the lens, the whole fucking vibe. What I'm saying is, can I still do that?
I think you can.
Can I do that? Of course, no blackface.
Yeah, no blackface. No blackface.
I'm not doing it this year.
Not this year.
No, I've never done it.
No, I think that we live in a time now, the cultures are blending.
Right. Or do I have to go as Eddie Vedder?
Eddie Vedder is kind of cool too.
Well, no, I'm gonna go with like some Seattle vibe. But you think we live in a time that's what? We live in a time that's what?
I think we live in a time now where our cultures are cross-pollinating. Everybody's kind of meshing. You just got to play it safe. You know what to do and what not to do. You know what I mean? When you show up and you're like, I'm gonna be, Run from Run DMC, and then you're in blackface.
Right.
That's a problem. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really understand why people did that. I don't understand what I mean, I guess it's a certain commitment to the costume, but I go like, who wants to run around all night like with like paint on your face anyway? You know what I mean? But that's why I don't also understand when people do like the full on.
I'm having this discussion with my daughter right now. She want to be Wednesday from the Addams Family. She watched the Addams Family. She's obsessed. Yeah. And Wednesday's complexion is kind of ghostly white.
Yeah, so you don't think she could do that?
And she was like, "Yep." She was like, "I want to paint my face white."
Yeah.
I'm torn because I'm black. I'm like, I would be offended if I saw somebody white doing it. And my daughter is obviously biracial, but is that white face?
No, but wait, hold on. You wouldn't be offended if you saw somebody white in black face paint for like some kind of character that wasn't African American, right? Like meaning like my son will watch like Venom, right? There's the other Venom that's got like
and the Venom is black.
Right. So now if somebody's going as Venom, you wouldn't be offended by that. So why would you be offended if your daughter wants to be Wednesday, who's kind of like ghostly, kind of ashen?
But in theory,
because
she's
white. Just white, right?
She's white.
Gotcha. Okay.
You know what I mean?
So it's more about complexion.
Venom's
Venom
not
is like an
skin
alien
color. Yeah, it's like this black tar that it's like a symbiote or whatever.
It's a little different.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, my point is that if it were a ghost, right?
Yeah.
If she was going as Casper, and she wanted to be in whiteface, what would you say about that?
The whole face painting thing is very weird to me. Because like one year I went as white Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? Because Michael Jackson, he was black, he was white, he was Puerto Rican.
Right.
He was different races.
Right.
So I went as white Michael Jackson. It was cool, but then a couple people hit me. I was like, it was kind of weird.
Really?
Yeah. It was like, I felt a kind of way.
Interesting.
Yeah, I
don't give a fuck.
I personally don't want to wear any kind of paint up my face.
Yeah.
You know?
Like one year I was Boy George, but I was a black Boy George with mascara. I had all the accoutrements of Boy George, but I was just a black guy.
Got it. Yeah, but I don't even know where that goes. Does that go to the white community or does that go to the gay community?
Both.
Yeah, I'm confused
he's
now.
White and
I'm
gay.
like totally befuddled.
Do you really want to?
I know who he is.
I know you do.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He's 12.
Of course I know who
I'm
he
joking.
is.
I'm fucking with you.
But Eddie Vedder, I don't know who that is.
You know who Eddie Vedder is?
No.
Pearl Jam? You being serious?
Oh, okay. See, I know Pearl Jam, but I don't know.
No, but you could throw on like some torn shit and throw around your fucking flannel shirt around your waist with your GNR hat and your beanie and like you're back back in like 90 fucking 3, man. You know,
you're right there. What are you dressing as?
I think I'm gonna be Hugh Hefner. I think me and my lady are gonna do.
And she's gonna be.
You said it's an 80s, 90s theme, man.
Yeah. When was the heyday of Playboy? Not
like
in the 80s.
60s?
No.
Yeah, 60s into 70s.
Really?
50s,
bro.
60s. He kicked off.
By 80s he was shut down, dude. He shut down. He had kids and he got
80s
married.
He was shitting in a diaper.
And then it came back. No. He got married to Kimberly Conrad. They had kids. They killed like the whole mansion party thing.
Yep.
It was gone. Then he got divorced, and the shit started to pop back up in like '95 because that was the whole run that 90s. I was at.
Yeah.
And then we did the Entourage episode about it in like '04 or something.
Who are you gonna be, Jack Nicholson?
Well, I'll tell you. No, I don't know. I don't know what would be Jack Nicholson.
We should stay in character all night. Whoever we're gonna be, that's who we are that night. Like we stay. Whoever we're talking to, we're that person.
I think I'll just go with like some kind of like 90s rocker or something. That's what I'm saying. I always go with like dead musicians. I did Kurt Cobain, man.
That's how.
Me and my ex did Kurt Cobain for a Casamigos party. It was fucking dope. And
That'd be cool.
she was pregnant and she was fucking what's the wife?
Courtney Love.
Courtney Love. And then it was crazy. We were like trying to get into the Casamigos thing and everybody's pushing this and that. Somebody's like, wait, let her through. Wait, hold on. Is that a real baby or is that a fake baby? And I'm like, nah, she's really pregnant. And they're like, let her in. Like,
did you go to the Casamigos party that was at that Tower Records one time?
Yeah.
I was there too.
Yeah, I was dressed as, I went as Dee Dee Ramone. I'll show you the pictures, man.
Yeah, I was there that night.
Yeah, I was one of the Ramones. I had my wig. Like I always do like dead musicians. Like, you know what I mean? Too. Whether they're hip hop legends or whether they're like rockers. That's always kind of been my thing, you know?
I was testing out my wig last night.
I saw the photo.
A wig?
Yeah,
that's probably a big day for a guy who doesn't have hair, man. Is you really get to like, you know. I got to tell you, man, but as a guy who does have a full head of hair, I'm a little offended. I'm a little bothered by it.
That was very disrespectful.
Because you really don't have hair. Yeah. No, it's
like the Super Bowl for you bald folk, right?
The bald guys feel like, oh fuck, I get to rock out that wig and not catch music.
It's so true,
bro. You can get all your joy in though in one night. Are you gonna wear a hat?
No, fuck no, dude. I was wearing the wig yesterday, and I had it on for like probably longer than I should have. And my daughter just looked at me.
You went to dinner with it?
No, my kid was like, Dad, it's getting weird now. She was like, it's not even Halloween. But when you don't,
you're like, I'm practicing.
Oh no, it was like shit. You know what I mean? Because it's like shoulder length. The curls were right. I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
I was like, this is what hair feels like. I forgot.
That's hilarious.
I lost my hair like, dude, I started losing my fucking hair at like 22.
Well, if you grew your hair out, where would it be? On your head?
Oh, behind my ear. I mean, it's like.
Oh, really?
No.
Bro.
I got a crazy Dracula's widow peak. It's like my hair.
Yeah, so what's
my
wrong with that? You
hairline
like it?
comes
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
But this part.
Be Dracula for Halloween.
Oh, dude, it's like. It's,
But what do you mean? It V's up? Like a
It
widow's
V's
peak?
up like this. I look like fucking Blade.
Did you see that photo or that night that Shaq, he kind of lined up his hairline
And
as
the
it is right now,
and the
and
shit
it
was
was like,
oh,
here.
dude, no,
bro, it was
no.
the funniest thing ever.
But no,
man.
my hair will grow all over my head, super thick. But these two spots right here, it looked like I fucking fell on the freeway. This shit is like.
Bro, you have a good mohawk though.
I have a dope mohawk.
you would rock a mohawk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll have
ain't
a
nothing
dope
wrong with
mohawk.
that.
Yeah.
Never too old for a mohawk.
Never
man.
too old for a mohawk. But no, I'm good with the baldy. I'm gonna rock that. And plus, my wig fits a lot better. It's like RuPaul. RuPaul has a bald head. That's why his wigs fit.
But wait, what's the wig for? Did you just say what it was?
My character, Michael
Jackson's
Jackson.
Thriller.
Oh, he's Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm Michael Jackson from one of the various videos of Thriller. I'm from that
Gotcha.
era, but it could be.
It could be him as like the 50s kind of pop guy. Right?
It could be Michael Jackson Thriller, the red suit. It could be Beat It. It could be. He didn't shoot a lot of videos for that album, surprisingly. He only shot two.
The three of us could have worn the exact same outfit and been three different Michael Jackson skin tones.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I thought about two. We should have been the Ghostbusters.
We could still be the Ghostbusters.
That's pretty
We should
fucking
do it.
funny.
If we were the Ghostbusters,
Yeah, that's
pretty
fucking
good.
funny, man.
my boy DJ Cassidy, he killed it the year before last.
Is he coming to the party?
Of course.
Oh,
Yeah.
sick.
Like
All right.
if I tell you what
Who's spinning the party? MOS?
No, MOS is he's gonna jump on, but we have a female DJ. We
Who?
The young lady that spent the last time.
Who's it?
Aisha.
Aisha. I love
Yeah.
Aisha.
Oh, she love you.
Yeah,
It's
she's
so
awesome,
weird.
man.
It's so crazy. It's like we do anything. All these girls like, Rob is sexy. I'm like, Rob who?
Yeah. Thanks, bro. Thanks. Oh, I guess we're even for the bald spot thing now.
exactly,
Yeah, cool.
exactly.
You're like, that motherfucker, that old, chubby,
motherfucker.
beat up looking motherfucker.
No, the year before last, Cassidy killed it. He pulled up in the DeLorean dressed like Michael J. Fox. His
That's
girl was
hysterical.
dressed like the whole shit. He'll kill me if I tell you what he's doing this year. Like he's going like on some Rick Baker makeup
I've
shit.
wanted to do
that's
that. I've
sick.
wanted to like just go all Heidi Klumed out, and just
Yeah, you
drop
bro,
like
it's
a
your
few
party, dude. No, seriously,
I
go
thought
with
about
Hugh
it.
Hefner.
So I have,
What is that, a
I have,
robe and a pipe?
I have an ace in the hole that I might pull out and surprise everybody that night.
We're
But
gonna be Drake. You got the perfect.
no,
He's
it's
going
gonna
as
be like
Rocky.
full on. It's gonna be full on makeup. You probably won't even recognize me if I go through with it.
That's
See,
hysterical,
yeah.
man. I might be so in makeup too that you guys don't even know I'm there.
Like I'll come in
Like
there.
now.
I'll come
Yeah,
in
so
there. I'll
sick,
be
yeah.
like the hit, and then at the end, I'll reveal who I am.
No, it's crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I want to do something, but I don't want to cut my beard. My beard is finally where I want it to be for its volume.
Yeah.
So if I cut it now, it won't be like this until like April for Coachella.
No, bro. So fucking leave it. What do you mean? Dude,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't have to commit that hard to this.
I
thing.
want to though. Like
Yeah,
I want to.
Oh,
to.
this,
Like, I want
this
to.
my
Think
friend,
about it,
is the quagmire you are in.
yeah.
This, my friend, is your conflict.
I know. I was like, damn, I want to, because when I put on my,
When he commits, he commits.
he commits. Yeah. It's your boy O'Neal McKnight. We're back with the Cray Show. I'm here with my co-host
Shawn Chase.
You can say my name.
Rob Weiss.
Say my name.
Rob
Rob
Weiss.
Weiss.
Rob Weiss. And we have the
guy.
amazing, the talented, this guy right here has worn many hats and worn them extremely well. We got Affion Crockett in the building.
Yes, sir.
What's happening?
Yes, sir.
What's up, brother?
Yes, sir.
Good to
Yes,
see
sir.
you, man.
It's a crazy story about Affion. I'm just going to jump into it. I knew him without knowing him because for me, my ultimate dream was to dance on Soul Train. It was like if you were on Soul Train and you were coming down that Soul Train line, whatever you do in life after that, it didn't really fucking matter.
Yeah.
And I would watch Soul Train, and this dude would come out there dancing like he had no fucking bones, kicking his leg as high as this fucking ceiling. And then when I never even told him this. I can tell him now because the first time I met you, dude, I was fucked up. Like, because, I grew up in a small town. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And so when you get up every Saturday morning and in between that cartoon break, you watch Soul Train. Because
it's crazy, man. The amount of time I logged watching Don Cornelius as a kid, man. That's Soul Train, right?
Yeah, Soul Train.
Yeah. That was
and
the
I was just
earlier
thinking,
one, yeah.
but I was just thinking that like culturally, it's crazy because like I was a white dude in Long Island, and like I watch that show all the time, and I was like, that thing really transcended a time, you know?
Dude,
at the time,
it was
everybody watched it.
Everybody
kid,
watched it. And another sidebar story about Soul Train. You know, American Bandstand, Dick Clark. Soul Train was obviously, you know, it had everybody, but it was a black show. And you know, during that time, they were trying to compete with Soul Train, and they wanted to grasp that audience. So they came up with a show called Soul Conjunction. Uh-huh. And Don Cornelius, you know, with his baritone voice, was like, you know, y'all motherfuckers can't do that. And it was like, okay, let's pull the plug on this. But Soul Train was very, very cultural. So,
but it was kind of crazy that it was on like kids programming, like you're saying. It was on
Saturday
early
morning.
on a Saturday morning.
Yeah, Saturday morning.
So 1 minute you're watching like Junction, what's your function, and then you're into Soul Train.
Yeah, you see
It's
some
kinda
ass.
crazy,
You see some ass. You see some ass. Now, when you were on Soul Train, who was the host?
Shamar Moore.
That's what I thought. Shamar.
Oh,
Yeah,
crazy. Okay,
Shamar's
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Shamar
Actually,
Moore.
Maestro Clark, when I first got there, was the host, and then Shamar came in and took over.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
the
cool,
latter
man.
years.
Shawn Moore's
The latter
cool,
years.
man.
Oh, that's my
Shamar's
guy.
cool,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, he was on a soap with my ex, man, with the girl I was married to. I think they were on. Shamar was on like Young and the Restless,
Young and the
something, right?
Restless,
yeah.
Yeah. So it
for
was a girl I
years.
was married to like 20 years ago. She was on Young and the Restless too, so I used to see him out.
Years, yeah.
He's cool, man.
Yeah, he's a super cool
Yeah.
guy. How did you get into this game? Because, you know, we talk about Soul Train, but obviously, you know, your comedy, your stand up, your impersonations, your acting, all the
Yeah.
things you've done. Like, where did Affion Crockett come from?
I came from, I'm an Army brat, so I grew up in Germany. You know what I'm saying? I grew up with hip hop. So to watch Breaking and Beat Street and all them, I watched all those movies in the 80s, like even the bad ones, like Body Rock with Lorenzo Lamas. You know what I'm saying? Because even though the acting
That's
was
not
horrible,
one of the, that's not one of the bad ones.
he must have been in it.
Yeah, exactly. He produced it.
Yeah, but not exactly. Yo, but even though the acting was like, and the writing was just whatever, like they're just writing to get to the dance moves, right?
Right.
But they had official dancers in there. Like the dancers was like, you know, Oz Rock. If you know who Oz Rock is, you know. But to watch these movies at a time when hip hop was still defining itself. MTV was still figuring out if we want to
Right.
play black music and
Right.
you know what I mean? We had underground ways to watch music videos. Michael Jackson was, you know, he was rocking with the electric boogaloos and doing the moonwalk and the backslide and all that. So to see all of this stuff happen, that influenced me to want to dance. And I know you're a dancer too.
Yep.
But it influenced me to want to dance. And so I didn't have any aspirations to be an actor or a comedian because I never thought I didn't identify with that.
Right.
We looked at Eddie Murphy because he was popping at that time too.
Right,
He was a
yeah.
rock star. So we looked at him as like, oh, I'm a fan of Eddie, but this stuff that they're doing on the floor and this rapping on a mic, I can do that.
Right.
So we always was like trying to do those things. And that's what put me on stages first. That's what made me become a performer is dance.
Got you. So you said being an Army brat, obviously when you're an Army brat, you travel because you're stationed in different places.
Yeah, we grew up in Germany.
Well,
up in Germany.
I think I actually read that about that you were an Army brat and you know your family was stationed in Germany. The craziest thing is how many successful, talented people are the children are kids who grow up on bases. Or you know who are Army brats, and I always go like, their parents have these super consequential, high stakes gigs. They're probably very disciplined, right? They're military personnel, very disciplined, very serious. But yet so many kids grow up to be comedians, entertainers, actors, and artists. It's really interesting, man. It's interesting to see if it's, I'm just curious if it's something that develops inside of you as some kind of response to such a disciplined existence, right? You know?
For sure.
Like
It's
an escape in a
definitely-
way, or...
Yeah, and then the other thing about the military life is you get connected and disconnected so many times because you get stationed in one place,
right.
you develop your friend base.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? You get a
Right.
crush on a girl, you're
Right.
dating, and then either her family has to move and you never see her again, or you
Yeah.
have to move.
Oh, wow.
So within that, and I didn't realize this until I got older, But that's traumatizing for a kid.
Of course.
So I did look for a lot of escapes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was dancing a lot, doing martial arts, and just doing these things. But
Well, starting over sucks, man. When you're
starting
a kid,
over is a
you know?
bitch, yo.
Yeah.
It's a bitch. But yeah, again, it made me who I am today, and being able to travel the world and meet different people. But within that, being able to perform. I was always doing talent shows. So when you start to see the connection of I performed here and people liked it. I performed overseas, people liked it. In this school and that school, and people liked it. So now you start to see, okay, maybe I have something if all these different people in different locations are enjoying what I do.
Right.
So when was the first time you realized, because I love your impersonations of people.
Yes.
Yeah, I heard the Russell Simmons one in front of Russell.
Russell, Jay-Z, it's spot on. When did you discover that and you was like, oh shit, I sound like them? Because, when I sing, I like to feel like I sound like Luther Vandross, but that is not true.
Right.
You like to feel like
I like
you
to
do.
feel like Luther. You know what I mean?
Whether it's true or not.
Whether it's true or not, I want to
Semantics.
feel like Luther. When did you you did a voice in front of somebody and it was like, oh shit?
It was my mother and my my Trinidadian auntie. I would imitate their voices, and they would just start cracking up about that. And then I would imitate like British characters from Benny Hill, Tony Montana. So I just started doing that shit as a kid, and my mother would laugh and be like, "Man, you sound just like these guys." But again, never connected it to I'm gonna make money doing this one day.
Yeah.
But that's where it all started. It was around the house, just doing those voices, and then. And in school too, like I would imitate teachers, like certain teachers that had a distinct voice, and so everybody be in class, before the teacher get there, and I would do the voice, and they'd be like, and then they'd be like, wait, what the fuck is the teacher? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And so I was that was always my testing ground.
Yeah, were you like the class clown?
I do. That was my next question. Well,
I mean, I think it was an obvious segue, no? Luther?
You know what? Fuck you.
Vandross. Oddly enough, I wasn't.
Really?
Because I was a new kid.
Man. I was the worst fucking student. I didn't shut the fuck up.
But did you grow up in Long Island in that same place the whole time? Like the same school?
I mean, I lived in Brooklyn originally. Then I went out to Long Island, I think probably around like 8 years old. Kind of went to school system there. I think I started in actually when I got out there, I was in second grade. No, so I grew up in Brooklyn until I was I think like 8 years old. I got out to Long Island, first, second grade kind of shit. I was in Baldwin. And then I kind of went through schooling there. Terrible fucking student. Then I got in some trouble in high school. My parents pulled me out. I went to a private school, Woodmere Academy in the Five Towns. Then we wound up moving to Five Towns. I think I literally graduated that school with like a D- average. I think they wanted to leave me back as a senior and make me go to like summer school because I failed Spanish. But I think they just wanted me out of the school so fucking bad. They were just like, go. I was terrible, man. But again, for me, it's just a lack of application. Like I didn't apply myself to it. To me, it was like more important to be like the fucking class clown. I even saw like in my yearbook, it was like they wrote they do like a 10 years hence kind of thing. They were like, Rob Weiss will be the I forgot what it is, but like I'll be the next Don Rickles, and they left me in the audience. So it was kind of like lets you know I had like a big fucking mouth in school.
Okay.
They wasn't fucking with the.
But your parent, your dad was the one in the military, right? Not your mom. Yeah, so he's probably not taking any shit,
No, my dad he didn't take no shit. He was a fun dad, but when he wasn't fun, he wasn't fun.
Strict. So my dad was a military dude too. My dad was 101st Airborne. Yeah, man, they give dad a military funeral and everything, man.
Oh wow.
But I just think that it'd be so easy for him to get consumed with other shit, and he had 2 other kids too. That I was just slipping through the cracks as like a fuck up, you know what I mean? But I wasn't like that bad of a fuck up because I would have caught a smack, I wasn't like doing drugs and shit, I just had a big fucking mouth,
Still do.
Yes. Well, trying to monetize that shit now, bro.
That's the shit that shapes us.
Exactly. Was being a military kid, did that bring you to LA, or were you like everybody else? Like,
oh no. There's a few there's a few steps in between that. So in the military cycle, we bounced back and forth from Germany to North Carolina. I'm from Fayetteville, Fort Bragg. Yeah. And so when I got back to Fayetteville the last time, they just kept sending us back because my dad is 82nd Airborne. So that was the main hub is Fort Bragg. So we sent us back the last time, graduated high school, went to college in Fayetteville. And while I was doing all of that in town, me and my brother and some of my boys, my dance partners, we formed a group and we started opening up all the concerts that came through Fayetteville. So we was performing everywhere, like all the arena tours, Queen Latifah.
How'd you guys get in on that? Like how do you open that? How do you?
We just started performing a lot around town. Like this is back when radios would have talent shows.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right,
Radio
right.
stations would have talent shows and cash prize and all that kind of stuff. So we became those guys. We would win the money and then these bootleg promoters that was bringing all the people through with some drug money. You know how that go.
Yep.
And but they was bringing all the whoever was hot at the time. They brought them all through.
Right.
From Pete Rock and CL Smooth, like I said, Latifah, X Clan, like everybody came through the town. Das Effects, EPMD, and so we would open up for all these people, and that was the thing that showed. And then me and my dance partners went to the Apollo in '92.
I remember that.
Right.
I remember you guys on Apollo.
From all of that, it showed me that even though I was from a small town like you, a military town, I had a way to get connected to people who were really doing things. And it showed me that I could actually be on the same stage as them and have an impact and get a good reaction. And, you know what I'm saying? And so that was the motivation. And then Def Comedy Jam came around. So dance kind of phased out in my town and people were just getting into their hustle and drugs and all that kind of stuff. So everybody that used to be at the party dancing, they're not dancing no more.
They're not dancing no more.
So I'm like, man, what am I going to do? I don't sell drugs. I'm not a thug. I don't do none of that stuff. And my dance partners got saved and they stopped dancing. They was super Christians at the time. And so I was like, what am I going to do? And I was watching Def Comedy Jam and I saw Cool Bubba Ice. And I say his name in every interview. Cool Bubba Ice went on stage and he was animated, moving around the stage and did all voices, impressions. And I was like, oh shit, that's considered comedy? The shit I've been doing since I was a kid around the house. I've been on stage my whole life. I've been on stage with Latifah and all of them.
Yeah.
Maybe I could get on Def Comedy Jam. And that's when I decided I was going to start doing stand-up comedy when I was almost about to graduate from college. And I heard that they were doing, that Bob Sumner was going around and auditioning people at all the comedy clubs. So Comedy Zone in Charlotte, 3 hours away from Fayetteville. Right. I just took the leap of faith. I was like, man, I'm just drive up there and see if I can get on the stage during this Def Jam thing. But before the Def Jam actual audition, I went to the Comedy Zone, got on stage, and my first performance was dope. Like I did about 7 minutes. Yeah.
7 minutes?
And you felt good. That's
good. A long time.
No, the reaction was dope. I was a fresh face.
Yeah.
I did all the voices, and that's when Bernie Mac was hot. So I was one of the first comedians to do a Bernie Mac impression. Right. Fire Marshal Bill impression. Basically, what I ended up doing on Def Comedy Jam was what I did the first night I went. But I saw how people were digging it. They was like, oh shit, and it's a tough fucking crowd. Like, this is when the Charlotte Hornets really first got established in Charlotte. The Panthers were brewing. Right. So it was Tuesday night. It's the money dudes. Yeah. You know, they in there. You know, they ready to go to strip club after. Right. So it's a popping ass room. That's tough to make laugh. You know what I mean? But I got them on the first one. And so that gave me, so even when I had bad shows.
That's got to give you a lot of confidence, man.
Exactly. Yeah. Even when I had bad shows after that, I knew I had a bar that I could get back to. Because the first show was
so good.
It was good, yeah.
And so did Bob Sumner see you there? Or how did that work?
Yeah, he saw me there. I auditioned for him like a few months later. And he saw me, he liked me, but he said, you're not ready yet, but come back. And I took that. Most people would be like discouraged and give up on that. I heard that shit is word.
Another chance. Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna go graduate.
Yeah.
From school,
well, you're pretty new, man. Yeah,
back.
like you're in like just on one like stand up, right? That's the first time you did it. He's telling you that. I mean, it would suck if you were at it for 3 years and you said you're not ready yet.
You're not ready.
But someday, you're like, fuck you, Bob.
Right.
You know,
fuck out of here, Bob. Bobo.
Give a shit what you think.
So when you're creating these voices, are you borrowing people's voices? Like, what's your process? You know what I mean? Like, what kind of mental do you sound like them first in your brain?
I used to play music by ear. I still do. I produce beats and all that stuff, and I play by ear. I can't sit down and read music. You know what I'm saying? I don't know chords yet. I don't know that stuff anymore. As a kid, I did, but everything I hear is through my ear. So if I sound like a person in my head, then I feel like it's pretty close.
That's funny.
That's dope.
You know what I mean?
That's
It's the same thing with writing, man. Like you hear it. It's like
You hear the voices of the people.
You got it, man. It's like inexplicable,
Yeah.
You know, it's just like some crazy thing. It's funny, like when I used to write Entourage, I'd write it in like this coffee shop, and sometimes I'd say this shit out loud. I'd be like, right, it'd be like drama, blah 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 blah. It'd be like, yo, bro, like, and there's just people looking at you like you're actually like hearing
You're
it,
living it.
Yeah, because you're in a flow state, man. So
Yeah.
like, if he's just riffing, you got to realize he's doing two things at once, right? He's recreating a voice that he hears right in his head,
Yeah.
and he's creating the content. So he's doing context and content simultaneously. So, you know, you really think about certain layers that guys go through in a creative process. That's just, you know,
Yeah.
it just stacks.
I'm glad you
That's
brought
true.
up Entourage because now I'm about to shift the interview.
I'm
one of
not
my-
responsible for any of the bad shit. If you didn't like it, bro, there's a fucking complaint box.
Hands down, one of my favorite shows.
Oh, thank
right?
you, bro.
And here's why.
Thank you, bro. I did it all.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm
Take all the
joking.
credit, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm joking.
But no. What made y'all give up so much game, like the Hollywood game? Because I realize most people watching that show don't really realize this is how deals
That's
how deals
That's
work.
how I
Really
learned
have
how
that
the
shit
industry
work. You know,
works.
you wanna know-
backdooring
Yes,
and all of the,
exactly.
you know what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
how I learned how the
honestly,
industry works.
Then there's a point to what I'm going to say. When I got into business, it was off of having made a successful indie. By successful, I mean I made it for a couple $100,000 in New York. It was a Sundance competition film. And and after that, I got a 3-picture deal at Universal. Gave me Redford's old bungalow. I was attached to American Psycho, ton of shit. And I kind of squandered the opportunity because I was so freaked out and paralyzed between the fear of like my own insecurities and the complexities of the town. And I tried to navigate.
Like imposter syndrome type of shit? You didn't feel like you
I felt
knew
like
you were ready?
literally, I think when I was at my lowest career-wise, pre-Entourage, obviously, and feeling like I was persona non grata, I found like a packet of journalist responses to film screenings of Amongst Friends in New York, and it was overwhelmingly positive, where people would be like, oh, this guy's such a great young voice, or such vision for somebody without any like, you know, money to go do this, or resources, and you're like, but then if there's one person who'd be like, oh, this is derivative, you know, and there weren't that many bad ones, but I realized I'm like, oh, I'm that guy. I'm that guy that if 9 out of 10 people say positive things, I focused on the one negative.
Yeah.
So whatever, it was a lot of work. It was therapy, whatever, I unwound it. But the point being is when I got on Entourage and we would get into the writer's room and I'd sit with like Steve Levinson, who is Mark Wahlberg's partner, Mark's manager, he's my manager, one of my best friends, like the older brother I never had because he's always been that guy who's going to shut the fuck up, like kick me under the table in meetings, shit like that. But it wasn't until I got at that table where Doug had a really high Hollywood IQ, meaning like he'd really invested himself into the nuances and understandings of and the machinations of the business. He had made a couple short films that dealt with Hollywood also. So between the two of them and other people that were in the business sitting at the table, I'm like, I started to understand it for what it was, a business. Before that, all it was to me as a kid from New York was like passion, creativity, emotion, super fueled by emotion, all wrong decisions based in emotion, whether it was fear, whether it was ego. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Once you get older, now somebody who's in
I
their
had
50s.
to realize the
like,
same thing.
Yeah.
Because coming into the industry as a young black man,
Right.
especially, right? We lead with emotion. We got so much passion and creativity
Yeah.
and emotion because we take everything so personal.
Right.
Because we dealing with rejection on skin color and other
Right,
shit,
right, of
right?
course,
And
of
in the
course,
streets,
right.
right?
Yeah.
So no, I totally understand that.
Yeah.
Until I made the switch though to say, all right, I'm a product. We're all products.
Right.
And if they don't like me, they don't even fucking know me. So why am
Right.
I sitting here crying about it? Why am I
Right.
taking it so
Right.
personal?
Right.
So no, I totally understand what you
Well,
mean.
yeah. Also, but the language. You got to think about how far the language has evolved, right? Like, if I at the beginning of Entourage, before I started talking about branding, like I'm a brand, people be like, "Fuck, you talking about?" This was only when it started popping.
Yeah.
Like the first time I ever heard the term tastemaker was in regards to us. Probably by season 2 or 3. Like I was fielding offers for cash for like, and I've talked about it in here. Hey bro, put Turtle in a Scion. Here's $50,000. Hey bro, have him wear Axe cologne and get laid. everybody wanted a piece of it, but branding started to become a thing. Marketing was obviously always there,
Right.
but it wasn't part of the global vernacular the same way.
Gotcha.
Like you
Wasn't
were
as
like an
common
ad
as it
man,
is
you
today.
knew it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, we all know it. We all know that we're products. We all know, and I think a lot of this obviously has grown with social media because you think
sure.
about the presentation, right? You
Yep.
think about the optics. I don't like how that looks. You know what? This is gonna look shitty, but it's appropriate. You know, you make like decisions. So I think that once I started to build the muscle to understand what was going on around me and get out of me, it made everything better. Like my fear of failure was so overwhelming at 26 after I made that movie. Again, it was super meteoric. I was, like I said, I was an underachiever, horrible student. All of a sudden, all my friends are graduating college, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life, right? I was melting down. I'm like, I'm gonna make a movie. Like it was just like, and then I went and did it, and then all of a sudden, people are like, yo, we're gonna shoot you for job. I got Andy Leibovitz shooting me. Bruce Webb is shooting me. Like I'm doing all this crazy shit. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I can't do this again. This is like some fucking, this is like a miracle. And it wasn't a miracle. But at the time, you think like that, right? You get older, you're at a place you go, I'm going to go out there. Some of the shit I'm going to try to do works. Some of the shit I'm going to try to do isn't going to work. I will embrace the failures as I embrace the successes. And that's just process, So I think it's how we mature,
But just like Atheon said, not to flip the interview, when I watched God bless his soul, Andre, my cousin Andre Arell, that was one of his favorite shows. And what he loved about it was his authenticity. He was like, oh, and this is in his voice. He was like, oh, these white boys got this shit right.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he was like, this is how this shit really move.
It really is.
And if you're not in the entertainment business, it teaches you, but if you're in it, you're sitting back like, oh, this is how this shit really works because we navigate in that way. So
Right.
so like for you guys, and like I say, flipping the interview a little bit, when you was writing Entourage, obviously it was coming from a place of experience.
Well, yeah. I mean, you have there's different layers to that game, right? So if you're breaking a story, let's say Lev was using some Mark story as a template, right? Or a Leo story, right? And his name would come up a lot too. So you would take that, but that doesn't mean we're not infusing our own personal stories into that story,
Gotcha.
right? So our journeys are also being used. Mine, Doug's, we both had tasted failure at that point, In fact, most of the people on that show kind of needed that show as a break. Kevin Connolly was quitting the business, wasn't going to act anymore. Jeremy Piven was John Cusack's like fucking plus one,
Yeah.
Like if you look down the whole list, like everybody needed this, right, to be something at that time. And I think everybody put a piece of themselves into it, but again, everything was carefully curated, discussed. Like we never just dialed shit in,
No, it was
a slow
executed
process.
very well.
Thank
And
you, man.
again, for someone that has experienced some of that shit and just
Yeah.
being in the industry 23 years and being in Hollywood specifically, I'm watching this show like, yo, they're really talking that shit.
Yeah.
And I loved it for that. And I was like, I don't know if the general public understands how valuable
Right.
This
That
is
knowledge
information.
is.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, it was also just about like you think about it. It was like, hey, it doesn't matter. We'll go back to Queens. We always had fun. Like I always found, even when I was fucking broke back then, pre-Entourage, and my career kind of bottomed out, I always had fun out here. You know what I mean? I was like, I had like a cute girlfriend. We went out. We had a lot of friends. It was like life in Southern California is always pretty fucking good. At least it felt that way back then.
Yeah.
And that show kind of reflects that. Like people say to me, like, hey, you guys are the reason I came out here. I'm like, man, well, don't tell me that.
Yeah, a lot of it's funny because like our generation loves it, but now the Gen Z generate, like, these kids all come up to Rob on a weekly basis. They're like, yo, that's why I moved out here.
Oh, yeah,
like
dude.
I
Well, these
learned
kids all
how the
they all
game
discovered
works,
the show
and I
during the
moved out here
pandemic,
because of the show. Where they were
Yeah.
too young when the show was actually
Yeah,
running, but
yeah.
now they're like, oh, I got this Bible that shows me how everything works, and like a lot of
Yeah.
these kids, like they rep themselves because they see, like a lot of these TikTokers, they rep themselves. They'll come in and. I was talking to one of them from the Hype House the other day, and he goes, He's like, I know how to be a star and how to rep myself. Like, why would I pay someone
to do
15%
it?
Well,
to do it
that's
for me?
crazy anyway, of course. You know, you don't need it anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, man, you know, we're all out there kind of repping ourselves to some degree.
Yeah,
I mean, this is an unrepresented podcast. You know what I mean?
We rep this
Rob's
shit.
going to say that. Tomorrow, WM, he's going to be like, oh, really? Let us show you what not being represented really is, motherfucker.
No, but to shift gears back to you, Affion, obviously anybody who's under the sun knows that Versus has been a huge thing for Swiss Beats and Timbaland. But what's been just as big as Versus is you and Spice Adams coming on right after a lot of these shows. How you guys get these outfits, put this shit together, and it's crazy to me because I'm now in the mindset where, as excited as I am to watch the Versus, I'm equally excited to see you guys. So how did that even start?
The Teddy Riley and Babyface versus was where it started when, ironically, Teddy was doing what they're actually doing now. He just didn't have the technology.
He didn't have the technology.
But to have a whole setup, stage, because Tim and Swizz started that shit. Swizz was in his car. Tim was in his living room.
Yeah.
So it started scaled down. Everyone was like just in one location and just, playing songs off of a system. Teddy was like, no, we're going to concert.
We're going to concert.
And now you see where it is. You saw they just did KRS.
Didn't Triller just buy it or partner with him or something?
Yeah, Triller's right.
But I'm glad you said that, to go back to Teddy Riley, because when Teddy was doing it, you know how we talk in the streets, like he was doing the most.
He was doing the most, and everybody said that.
He was doing the most. He was doing too much. He was trying to really give you a concert experience virtually. Mm-hmm. And now what he was doing, that's where we are with Versus.
Yeah, and so he was the initiator, but he didn't have the technology right. So it was all kind of technical issues, and they had to shut it down mid-Versus, 3 songs in, and come back 2 days later to finish it up. So when me and Spice saw the debacle the first night, we was like, yo, we got to spoof this shit. We got to spoof it. And for some reason, me and him just happened to have closets full of clothes. We've never gone out and bought something to try to match anything, because literally we'll watch it as it's going on live and just start preparing. Like I'm walking around my house with my phone like, okay, he's wearing that, I think I got something like that, and we're doing it in real time.
That's so
and
funny.
Literally by the time Versus ends, we're going live the second they go off.
The second they go off, and then your outfits, the color coordination. Because for me, I was like, okay, well, they just partnered up in some kind of way with Versus, and you guys got a stylist there.
Nope.
Like,
that's what I thought. I thought they were like affiliated with them.
There's no fucking way you guys can.
We've been
watch
talking about
this.
it for almost a year. Like Swizz and Tim are like, yeah, we need to make them the official after show.
They should. Hey, Versus, reach out.
We talking about it. I've spoken to both of them, so I've been in their back pocket. Like, yo, let's make this.
Let's make it official, right?
But we are unofficially the official after show. Like everyone's tuning in. Even in the comments of Versus, people are like, "Oh, I wonder what Atheon and Spice gonna do." Like the whole show,
That's so
you'll
funny.
see us in the comments.
No, it's crazy because it's like you guys. For me, you guys carry on the chatter of what Versus was previously. You know what I mean? It's like as soon as it goes off, you guys kick in. So whatever banters happen between the artists, what kind of mishaps or whatever, you guys spoof it.
You're with the funny reenactment of it.
And
we're saying what everybody wants to say.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's crazy. Do you think, because you always had a lot of followers, do you think that really catapult your followers on social media to like, okay, now you're like over 1 million followers? Like, was that it?
No, what catapulted me over 1 million was the day me and Kevin Hart roasted each other. When he reposted, because I edited the video, posted it on my page. He took it, posted it on his page. And that night, I went over 1 million.
Wow.
And then it's just been sustaining since then. And then me and Spice doing the verses. It definitely helped, like, when I go live, it helped that audience grow. Because you know how Instagram is. They suppress your reach. 1% of your following sees your shit.
Yeah.
Shadow banning, all kind of shit has been happening to my page. But when something breaks through, it just breaks through. You know what I mean? So it's definitely helped my live audience grow. And my followers too, but
O'Neal's increased my audience enormously.
He what?
O'Neal has increased my audience enormously by tagging me 350 times.
Oh,
In everything.
I'll tag that motherfucker.
I'll be like,
a cup of water.
A
cup of water.
He's like, his baby girl.
Yeah. I'll get tagged. Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, oh, this is cute.
Some people I tag because I know it fucks with them too, and I just
like
do it.
I like it too.
But
You're the ultimate connector.
Right.
You that's everybody knows O'Neal and he knows everybody, and it's something to be said about someone whose energy is always great, positive.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, tagging you, he's always promoting.
Everyone.
And
My barber the other day, he hits me up on Instagram. He goes, "Yo, can you tag me?" I guess this like legendary barber that's very respected. He did doing this like giveaway, and my barber's like, "Yo, can you tag me in this?" And I go and click on the guy's page, and the one mutual friend, O'Neal McKnight. I'm like, O'Neal's always that.
He's right there.
Right there, yeah.
You know what? For me, what I love about social media is like a lot of times you don't get a chance to see people, talk to people all the time. But I'm a true champion of supporting people. I'll tag shit. I'll see your shit. I'll screenshot it, and I'll tag it, and I'll tag you in it. I just love doing it because I just feel like when you see somebody doing their thing, attempting to do their thing, or trying to get in the right place, and if you got a voice this big, why not add another layer to it and shout it out?
Of course.
And that's what I love doing. But what I love watching is your dance videos and watching this whole other generation of kids partnering up with you, dancing, doing this shit. Like, do you guys? How does that even work? Do they reach out to you? You reach out to them?
It's a little bit of both because I never want to be the old guy that's looking down on the young people, saying, "Ah, y'all not doing whatever."
Right.
I find genius minds in these kids. Some are horrible, right? But that's like some people in our generation are horrible too. Like every generation, it's never about how old someone is, where you're from, what era you came from.
Right.
There was always garbage next to brilliance, and the same holds true today.
Of course.
Right?
Right.
So
there's
now
probably nothing sadder, really, than somebody who truly wants to be great, deserves to be great, and who's not great.
They're just not great.
Yeah.
Either you have it or you don't.
Sucks, man. You know?
One of my highlights from just knowing you over the years, when I lived in Koreatown, and I used to do this shit all the time. Like I would go to the garage and dance. And he DM'd me and was like, "Yo, dude," and we haven't done it yet, and we will. He was like, "Yo, we got to do a video." He was like, "Yo, you really can dance. Like you can dance."
I didn't know.
He didn't know because a lot of times people don't know I can really, really dance. And I set up this camera one night. Everybody in the neighborhood was looking at me like I was crazy. But when I looked out, everybody was at the one. I was playing like some Fred Astaire shit, and I was dancing. I had on the crop pants like Mike and the whole shit. And he hit me up. He was like, "Yo, bro," he's like, "Oh shit, you can really dance."
Yeah.
And I was.
What do you mean? I get O'Neal. Me and we were all in Vegas doing an episode, man.
That story.
Dude, we're at some pool
party. I was
MGM
just about to tell that story.
I don't even know what was playing. What was it, man? It was like not Rihanna. Like what was it? It was
I forgot what it was.
Song, no, but he was just out.
But
there.
O'Neal's just doing his thing.
And he's got his cigar. He's doing people around the pool,
and
just kind of watching.
Everyone's watching him, and they're videotaping on their phones. Like,
they thought it was Alfonso Ribeiro.
That's hilarious.
Leave it to Rob for the jam.
That's great.
But no, that's how you can tell a real dancer. Like, it doesn't matter the song. He's gonna get up.
No, he was moving, man.
And
he
really
inspired me to get off my ass. I was laid out on Shay's Lounge. I was like,
teaching
I'm
Jay
stand the
some
fuck
moves.
up too.
Teaching Jay moves.
Yeah.
But no, you got footwork. You can tell when someone's footwork. If it's legit, how they place it, how they time it, what the rhythm is.
Right.
That's why I hit you. I was like, yo, you really rock. I didn't know you rock.
That like I'm one of those guys where like, dude, I admire people from all walks of life. You know what I mean? And like for me, I was like, oh shit, Affion Crockett hit me up. And like, we cool. I see you around, but it's like you can be
he
friendly.
acknowledged it.
Yeah,
right,
you can be friendly.
Yeah.
It's like Rob. Rob and I are now friends. If I write something and Rob hit me back like, yo, bro, that shit was good, I'm gonna be like, shit, this motherfucker said my shit was good. Like I'm, I'm still in it like that. You know what I mean? Rob giving me that look.
What do you mean? I send him an email draft to edit. He'll be like, it's good, go. I'm like, nice. Yeah. It wasn't, didn't need any edits. Nice. I'm improving.
Send it out, Shawn. Put this one to the presses.
You gotta do the Jay-Z voice. Like, do you warm up?
I'm only doing Russell. Today, because of your relationship to him. and that's why I met you guys. You know, I met Rob.
Oh, you know what, man? You know what? Let's have this. Let me. I'm missing a piece. we talked to Russell, and I'm missing one little valuable piece.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe you could just pretend to be Russell.
Yeah, sure.
And I'll. You know, it's a whole different conversation, but we had a conversation.
Yeah, it's always different. You know.
So Russell said
Okay.
he was going to be open. I like Russell. Much respect.
I am Russell. So.
Okay. Russell.
So you like me?
Russell.
Sure.
Russell. Let's just talk about the last few years of your life and where you've been.
No, we're not talking about that because you know it's my business.
And because I
been in
promised my
Bali.
daughter I wouldn't be.
I've been in Bali. You know, I've been getting zen, doing a lot of yoga. You know, eating well off the land.
What do you think about cancel culture, Russell?
What is that? You know, I don't know. You know? Fuck cancel culture. You know what I'm saying? You can't cancel me. I've been here forever. You know what I'm saying? College Queens. Can't cancel me. You know.
I mean, it's kind of fucking close. It's a little bit close.
I disagree, Rob. You know?
I was like,
I'm still here.
I said, Russell, let's talk about like allegations, and he said, would you ask Joe Biden about allegations? Would you ask like who is it, Justin Bieber? I was like, fuck yeah, I would, bro. 100% I'd ask him. Why wouldn't I ask him?
And I told Russell, I was like, no, Rob would fucking ask.
100%. Fucking, yeah, hell yeah, man. But. You know, there's guys like, you know, and this has nothing to do with allegations, but just outside of the realm of any accusation, shit like that. I mean, Russell's a pioneer, man. And you know what I mean? You just have to look at that and realize, like, what he's created. And also a lot of the positive things he's contributed to the world and humanity. You know?
Well, even beyond that, for me, it's a personal relationship.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the same way I would treat a brother or a cousin,
right,
if they were going through some shit,
exactly.
I'm gonna reach out and have a conversation,
right,
you know, just to see where their mind is, see, you know, whatever that conversation needs to be.
Right.
If I need to cuss you out, if I need to support you, if you need to
right.
cry,
right.
like I'm not gonna get online and all of a sudden, if motherfuckers know that we fam and I've been rocking with you for over a decade, I'm not gonna be the guy that's gonna get on when someone's going through something
and then fucking throw them under the bus.
Why the fuck would I do that?
I think it's vile, man. I see this.
You know
by the
what I
way,
mean?
I see this every day, dude. I'm not even start naming guys, but there's like huge Hollywood actors.
And there's a lot of people.
They roll over on their best friends who are also huge Hollywood actors that names sound like Mames Wonko and Seth Rogen and fucking.
All right.
No, these fucking guys. No, but these guys, you can cut it out. But these guys basically roll over on each other like. Yo, you can say, yo, that's my friend. I know him in a different way. He did some fucked up shit, you know?
Yeah.
And he's going to own the shit, you know? Like, I didn't want Russell to feel like... I personally want to exploit the conversation because that wasn't the intention. But there's also the flip side to that conversation in which you go like, all right, you haven't done an interview. You haven't spoken to anybody. You can't, like, ignore the elephant in the room. You got to kind of make some, you know what I mean? Just some... conversation.
Not necessarily. Here's
I know
what
it's
I feel
tricky,
about that.
bro. It's very tricky because what happens is, from our perspective, at least I could look at only the us in the relationship. They go, look at these three fucking guys. They have a podcast, and they're giving Russell a platform. They don't give a shit about the fucking movement. They don't give a fuck about the accusations. They're ignoring it. And then all of a sudden, we're like those three fucking assholes, right? So you kind of have to split the difference. And be like, look, we take that seriously, which I do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
We take it seriously.
We all do.
But we're not your judge and jury.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All we can do is have a conversation and a dialogue about it.
And for me, what I'm saying is, because, you know, I'm in the business too, and if I'm going through something positive or negative, like,
right.
I feel like we don't owe it to anyone to have to talk about it publicly.
Right.
I agree.
If you're going through anything,
I agree.
There's no law or there's no thing that says just because you're a celebrity that you gotta explain that shit.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
You might be dead ass wrong. You might be dead ass innocent. Either way, it's your business. You know what I mean? So that's just my thing about it.
No. I didn't feel like he owed that to us. It was just a part of the understanding of how we're going to have this conversation unfold.
Right.
Meaning, like, let's address that and let's continue the conversation.
No, I get your perspective. Yeah.
Yeah, I just you can't jump in and go, hey, bro, what's going on? Congratulations on the new company. What's happening with the NFTs? And people are like,
right.
These people fucking tone-deaf motherfuckers. They not know what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
Right. Like, where you been, bro? I haven't seen you in any of the clubs.
Talking about cancel culture, we were talking about this earlier, you know, about Dave Chappelle, you know, which is... Dude, that's my guy. I think he's fucking amazing.
Likewise. That's my guy.
How did you feel after watching Closer?
Look, Dave is Dave. He's an artist.
Closure. Sorry.
No,
the closer. Yeah,
The
yeah.
Closer. I said Closer?
Closure.
They're saying
A
5
new
minutes.
film.
Yo, hey,
What
guys,
up?
wake up. They're saying 5 minutes.
We got 5 minutes.
They're
Fuck.
like
Yeah, I
looking
gotta
at you
jump
two. You guys
anyway.
are just
We're going back and forth.
tunneling each other.
A new film from Mike Lee.
The Closer. Well, how did you feel about it?
I'm a comedian, so I'm gonna always err on the side of
Free speech.
Free speech.
Me too.
And,
Yeah, well, all of us.
and we
what I
walked
did.
the
had
line
this
too.
conversation.
We walked the line. We're edgy.
That's the way it's
We
supposed
say
to
what's
be.
on our and
Yeah.
look, he has a point of view. They have a point of view.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So the same way they have the right to say how they feel and how mad they are at him, he has a right to say how he feels.
Exactly.
Because what I heard him say was just his perspective
Exactly.
on.
That's what I said. I didn't see anything. There was nothing in that inspired me
To hate.
or influenced me to hate or to
Not-
react
or to
against the
kill,
LGBTQ
like that-
community.
Yeah.
There was nothing in there for me other than to go like, oh, that's his perspective. You know,
His
He's-
perspective, right?
Yeah.
So I'm a comedian and I say whatever the fuck I want to say. I have compassion for people.
Right.
I have tact with what I say, but what I'm gonna say is gonna be truthful,
Yeah.
and then it's gonna be funny.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
if I'm saying it on
Well, I
stage,
think that buys you a lot, right? Like if nobody's laughing,
It's supposed
you gotta,
to.
But it should buy you something. Like I watched it; it was a funny fucking stand up. I don't care, but I laughed at a lot
Right.
of it. You know, and a lot of it I thought was poignant and insightful too. You know what I mean? To him and his perspective.
yeah. I mean, I think we are just in a society right now, an environment where everyone just wants to be
Right.
overly sensitive, and there's no taking it. Everyone takes themselves too seriously.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, but I also think like we were talking about this as just our intro to the episode. You know, a lot of these marginalized communities and communities that are just smaller in scope and scale, like whether you're Jew, African American, we've been fighting for so long for certain things.
Yeah.
In terms of that, the trans community, the gay community, they probably feel that as a pushback to gain. So maybe some of it is less
100%.
is less about sensitivity,
But
more
no, like I
about
said,
like
But what I meant by
growth.
that is this. I'm not saying that they're taking things too sensitively. I'm talking about as a whole.
the culture, 100%.
exactly.
The culture as a whole
100%.
does not know how to take a joke.
No.
Right?
No.
But I understand based on, because again, he wasn't just joking.
Right.
He was saying things that again, from
he
his
felt,
experience, his perspective, and they have a right to respond to that. Right?
Yeah. I mean, he always, I can't go through the whole thing in my head, but he was basically, it felt like a response to a large portion of it was a response to the punching down, right?
Yeah,
He talked
clearly
about
he's
that.
been in a tussle
Right,
with
he's
them
been in
for
a
a while.
ring with them.
Way before I even realized,
Right.
I didn't even know until like the sticks and stones.
Yeah.
That he had. I didn't know that there was
I
an
didn't know there was
issue.
deeply
Yeah, yeah.
rooted.
Right.
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
very
Yeah.
deeply
Right.
rooted.
Jesus.
Yeah, they
But-
got no coffee.
But no, look. Overall, it's like this. We black men in America. During a pandemic. We had to sit at home and watch police kill black people in the
Right.
streets.
Yeah.
Right, little girls, men,
Yeah.
like everybody. They was killing us in the street. We're trying to peacefully protest, and while peacefully protesting, they're calling us animals, monsters, and we're rioters, we're thugs, we're this and that. And then we see this insurrection happen. Like, so we see the America's still out of balance.
Right.
Yep.
Right. But in all of that, I still hear people making black jokes and getting on stage and talking about this and that, and we have to take that shit. And us as comedians, as black comedians.
Wait, you're hearing white comedians make black jokes? I don't go to comedy clubs. I'm just saying, it's the sickest thing I've ever heard right now.
My
Like,
point is this.
You got big balls getting up there right now in this culture with that.
But the point is, we always have to sit back and take it.
Right.
And if it's not someone
Right.
making
Oh,
jokes
that's
about us,
100% true, bro.
if it's in the street and we have to
Yeah,
experience
yeah,
this shit in
course,
real life,
course.
then we look at Hollywood making
Right.
slave movie after slave movie after
Right.
slave
Right.
movie.
Right, we get
after,
it. We used to be slaves.
Yeah,
After
of course,
police
of
brutality
course,
movie,
of
after
course.
police
Right.
brutality
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
So we have to sit here and take this shit in fantasy and reality.
Right.
And no one's running to our aid.
Right, exactly.
You know what I
Exactly,
mean?
exactly.
So again, that's not connected to the closer issue with the trans community.
It's the same thing as Dave Chappelle going, can a gay person also be a racist? Like, you're not going to tell me that that's not some brilliant shit when he's, like, disseminating and having that conversation and that dialogue from his vantage point on a stage.
No, he's breaking it down the way that he breaks shit down.
It's pretty brilliant. And he was like a gay black person would never have made that call.
Never.
Because they know when the cops show up, they don't give a fuck who made the call.
Yeah.
And that's some brilliant shit, man. And it's
100%.
It's super insightful.
And
so
again, it's his perspective. So
right.
As a comedian, I'm going to always say we should have the right to have our perspective because there's trans comedians that have their perspective.
Of course.
And shout out to Flame Monroe. Flame is a trans comedian and spoke up in support of Dave.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So I say what I say.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, just try to say good
sir.
shit, man.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
go.
I say whatever I say. It's gonna be good or bad. Take it how you take it.
At least it's gonna be your truth.
And, exactly. And if we use Kanye as an example, cancel culture doesn't mean shit.
Of course not.
Because Kanye could go do one. He hugged Trump with a MAGA hat on one day, and everybody was like,
well, obviously, I mean, this is a much long conversation, man. It'd be great if you come back again and we could chop up that.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
I think if you could go direct to an audience, then cancel culture doesn't mean anything. If you need NBC to keep your show on the air, you got
to apologize.
I'm sorry.
You train with Hegan?
I do, yeah.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That's cool.
You know, he's nice.
Oh, really? You roll too, man?
Not with rolling, no. But I do know Hegan though.
Oh yeah.
But this motherfucker
do
can jump up and kick the top of that tree.
Well, I mean, he was a fucking dancer, bro. He better be, man. I'm sure he can. Yeah.
Affion, thank you so much.
Yeah,
for hanging with us,
Affion, bro.
man.
Thank you so much.
You got to come back again soon.
My guy.
Yes.
Thank
yes.
you.
Thank you for coming
Affion
through.
Crockett, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Ain't no ladies and gentlemen
Ain't no
listening
ladies
to
and
the show.
gentlemen listening.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Not right now, nigga.